Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet and of YouTube, and welcome back to Final Fantasy Chronicles of Eno. I am your host and game master, Skajarmas, otherwise known as Toneshift, as always, and with me today we have our full assortment of players for the time being. We have Hades Shadow 92 playing Thanatos, the male human Dark Knight.
We are going to hell.
Probably. Thanatos, or Hades rather, will also be controlling the combat actions and dice rolls of one of the NPC party members, Kyra Nightstar, our female human Dragoon.
Badass female.
Yes.
Dragoon.
Next up, we have Darkness playing Alistair, our male human paladin.
Hey everyone.
And last but certainly not least, we have Tom117Z playing Neothil, our female Elvon Ranger.
Heyo.
And I will, as always, be taking care of all of the actions of the other NPC party member who's been around pretty much since the start, Mika Solwyn, the group's female Mithra Red Mage.
Who you love to torture.
I mean, she needed an arc somewhere. So, where we last left off, our intrepid band of adventurers set off from the Academy City after it had been brutally attacked by a horde of true demons led by Saran and a manifestation of Amber referred to as Anima. The resulting conflict left many people dead, but the city still stood, and with more questions looking to be answered. But with no answers presently forthcoming, the party ventured to the north, to Shiva's roaming glacier in search of the second crystal of ice. There, they had a bit of an accident on arrival, but were soon guided to a safe landing thanks to Leviathan, who is present to help safeguard the island from any would-be assaults, and were then guided through the central pyramid structure by Shiva's faithful companion, Fenrir. Fenrir guided the party through the winding corridors and labyrinthian structure of the pyramid, sort of recapping the events of the little one-shot that we had before to the party as they passed, to the best of his knowledge, between the crashing of the airships and the scuffle with the amber-infested frost behemoth that the one-shot party had before he had sent them off, and then guiding the party further and further through tunnels lined with depictions of times long gone, and then eventually a meeting with Shiva herself. She spoke with Alistair for a time, commending him on his resolve and his resilience and how it is that trait that she looks for in a champion, before passing along the second of her crystals to him, thus solidifying Alistair's status as Shiva's summoner and the bearer of the crystals of ice. As I so recall, we left as the party was returning to the Little Wing, right?
Quite.
Very well.
Indeed.
And so it is upon that note that we come back in. So.
Also, before we continue on any further, slight inquiry not related to the campaign. Have we ever watched the latest episode of the Space Engineers thing yet?
No, I don't think we have.
Let us do this after the campaign. Anyway.
Very well.
Yes.
All right, carrying on.
Play ball.
So, it will take a couple of days to fly back to the mainland. And I don't really have anything planned for the trip, so if you guys want to have any interactions on the journey back towards mainland continent, now's the time to do so. If there's anything you wish to do.
I don't.
All right.
I think
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right. Well then, give me a second. All right, so after a couple of days of flight, making your way south once again over the northern tumultuous oceans, you eventually see the mountainous ridge of the Mage's Mountains rising up from the horizon, and soon you can make out the shoreline and more finely defined peaks of the range. And I believe you stated it was your objective to go to Anomo before anything else?
Yes, just to give them an update on, hey, we got the thing, and also, we scraped the ship a little.
A little.
All right. Well then, give me just a moment to take care of another thing while that's going on. Okay. All right, so with that, you eventually come up to the northernmost peak of the Mages Mountains, the familiar crags and winding pathways and whatnot visible to you from afar, and you can see the Academy City perched there, familiar as always, and still bearing the signs of damage from the attack, though it looks like a lot of effort has already been put into beginning repairs. You bring the Little Wing into dock easily enough. Clear space, no airships currently moored to the Academy. And with no fuss whatsoever, you bring the Little Wing in and get it firmly attached. And you are once again in the Academy City. So, the day is yours. What do you wish to do? It's about noon right now, and it is a foggy day. I should point that out. But within the city, thanks to the barrier keeping the cold weather out, it's clear.
Any engineers about working the docks?
Yeah, you were sort of waved in by a couple as you were landing, and one of them, the sort of a tall, hulking Galka fellow, walks forward as you're stepping down the gangplank and eyes the Little Wing with a discerning gaze. Oh, looks like you took a bit of a scrape.
Yeah, you know the dangers of searching for crystals and all. Could I get that repaired?
Yeah, sure, we can get on that. How soon do you need it done? 'Cause, looks like you took a pretty hefty gouge there. That might take a few days to patch.
How soon can you get it done?
Well, he looks it over for a moment, stroking his chin. Well, at a standard pace, it would take maybe 3 days to get it patched up, but we could probably get it done in 2 if we were to rush it, but that would cost more.
How much?
He looks it over for a moment longer before turning back to you. I'd say 5,000 for a rush job. 3,000 if it's normal speed.
We have about 36, don't we?
31.
31. We'll pay the money. Get it done as quick as possible.
All right. So you hand over the money, bringing your total down to 26,018 gil. He eyes it for a second, then nods his head. All right. I reckon we'll probably be done by the 28th.
Yeah. It's mostly impact damage around the front of the ship. Some hull fractures.
Yeah, I can
Be
see
careful with
that. Yeah. We got this. All right. Well, if there's anything you want to get off the ship, get it now, and we can get started.
Alright. So that done. Let's go see to these archmages. While we're getting repaired, I'm sure they'd like to know an update.
Yeah, probably.
Easier comes from us rather than your communication book.
Alright. So, all are in agreement then?
Yep.
Alright. Which archmage are you seeking out?
I imagine since he was the most involved, Red Mage.
Alright. Then you will be looking for various Morkine.
Yeah.
Alright.
So as we go and looking around, since it's been gone a couple of days, how are things looking around the Academy City?
Looking around, it's looking a little more relaxed, like the confidence of the students and their safety has gradually returned, and repairs are already underway in a lot of places. Rubble has been cleared off onto street corners and out of the way, and buildings that were more properly, like, full-on, like, destroyed, but were still standing, like, skeletalized, are in the process of being broken down into more manageable pieces before they can be rebuilt. It looks like the triage centers have all pretty much cleared out, which you can either assume means everyone's either been moved to more appropriate medical units or have just straight up recovered. Possibly a mixture of both. Either way, while there's still a very somber, solemn sort of atmosphere to the whole city, it's definitely feeling more light. Like, people are like, they're starting to, like, they've buried their dead, and they're starting to get their wits about them, get a hold of themselves, and putting their backs into getting things back up and running as they should be. It's going to take a while before everyone's back at 100%, but there's already a start. The mental resilience of Mage is at work.
Seems they're getting to work, putting things back to normal.
Yep. This place is strong.
Yeah, guess it is.
Alright, so, you're looking for various Morkine. I need someone to make an inquiry check to track him down.
Don't look at me, I haven't got anything for inquiry.
Neither have I.
You know, the funny thing is Rocket has some in inquiry. I was looking over her character sheet the other day, and
Well, isn't that just perfect? She's not here for another session.
Mika does have 4 in inquiry, though.
Ah.
Helps
Good
that
on
she's
Mika.
a student here, I guess.
That she makes up for what we don't have.
Alright, so, a 10. It takes a little while, but Mika is eventually able to sort of pin down the right people to ask and poke at their brains, and before long you're heading to this sort of a central hub region, sort of a open plaza that's surrounded on all sides by various streets spiraling off into different directions, almost like a curvy snowflake. And you can see one of the buildings sort of at the western head of this plaza. Looks like it was once like a public library, maybe, with sort of a large, vaguely church-like architectural style, very vaguely, but, you know, much more subdued and a lot less, I am divine, and more just be quiet walking and keep your head down and read your book in peace kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. Subdued, quiet, and there are very numerous signs of damage. There are, like, you know, windows that have been blown out, things like that. Keep swapping to happier music. We're trying to be more solemn at the moment.
Well, choose a theme and then just loop it.
I'm working on it. This'll do. Alright, so. And as I was saying, windows blown out, there are a few holes in the walls, and you can see through those holes the interior. And it looks like before the attack, it might have been a really nice, very large sort of open space with a lot of bookcases, but there are a lot of signs that a lot of the tomes were damaged, a few bookcases toppled, and there are a lot of piles of books just kind of scattered around just out of the way of the gaping holes in the walls to protect them from the snow, while other places to put them are being found. And you can see that there are a lot of individuals sort of moving around. Most of them appear to be students or, you know, people who work in the academy, but you also see a few individuals who look like they were maybe just passing through, or travelers, or permanent non-student residents, sort of working to clear out rubble. Some of them with magic, others through machinery. Either way, there's this general hubbub of activity as people are moving them around. And
You know,
and
out of character, I
Yeah.
almost wonder whether any of these demons made the mistake of going to a certain Tom Berry run restaurant.
Hold on.
Since we know Puck runs that restaurant, and Pug lives in the academy, so that's 2 Tom Berries they could have run into.
Yeah, but again, they'd be like level 5 or 6.
Tom
so-
Berries, fear the Tom Berries.
Again, the demons would have been double their level though.
Yeah.
We don't even know what
Yeah,
Pug
but
was. Well, to be fair, we don't know what level Pug was, and even then, his mother, Pug, who works in the academy, we doubly don't know what she was. Like, she does a cooking class in the academy.
I mean, Pug's a guy, but yeah.
I thought it was a.
No, they're both guys.
Ah, I thought it was his mother that worked there.
I never came up with the mom.
But yeah, alright, the dad.
That can be Punk. Punk is the mom. Sure, why not?
I just like the thought of one of these demons like bursting into the cooking class where he just smites some students, and then in a movement that you can't even perceive with the naked eye, is just there's a hole in his gut now.
Anyway, so
Grudge.
oh, chef's knife. Anyway, so as it is, looking around at this damaged library, you eventually spot various sort of directing things inside, standing next to one of the piles of books. And he doesn't seem to have noticed you yet. Ah, you're back. He turns to face you more directly, sort of straightens up. Were you successful?
Kind of nods towards Alza.
Yep. I have it.
Good.
I showed the crystal.
Varys's eyes linger on it for several seconds, and he gives this very slow, appreciative nod. Were it under any other circumstances, I probably would have asked if I could have, like, a week to it just to study it. But I know time is of the essence. I thought you were bound back for the Hellfire Pit. Are you just stopping in to check in, or did something happen?
A mix of that, and the little wing was also mildly damaged in the retrieval. We thought to get her repaired before taking her into a place called the Hellfire Pit.
Probably a wise move, all things considered.
It'll take a couple of days. We got them to work double time for an extended fee. So until then, we're here.
Very well. If you want to make yourselves useful, you very well can. If you want to just rest, that is your prerogative.
I imagine we might as well make ourselves useful, kind of glances at Mika.
What can I
None
do
of
to
us-
help?
Same. I'm willing to help any way I can.
Well, right now, Various turns back to the library and gestures vaguely at it. Right now, I'm currently in charge of cataloging and storing what tomes were not destroyed in the attack. Various libraries across the city were hit. I'm doing my best to make sure everything we still have is being accounted for and put somewhere where the elements won't wear them down. He turns back to Mika. Knowing what I know about you, that sounds like a job you'd be perfect for.
That's what you need my help with.
Up to it then. Mika gives a sharp nod and quickly shuffles deeper in. As for the rest of you, I'm not really sure. I guess just make yourselves useful in whatever ways you can. Volunteer.
Fair enough. I go around and see if anyone needs help with healing or illnesses.
Alright. So then, if everyone is taking on some sort of volunteer task, then I would need to know what your tasks are so I can tell you what roles you need to make.
Well, Nee's going to inquire whether they've had any further difficulties with creatures, demonic or otherwise, since the attack.
None as of yet, no. We've kept our watch rotations very up to speed since the attack. Nothing has caused any trouble.
In that case, Nees can probably just help cleaning things up in areas that are still messy and rubble-strewn from the attack.
Alright, in that case, Nee can go ahead and make a force check for her contributions to cleaning up around the city and getting things broken down. Alright. You're pulling your weight. like lifting, like manual labor like this was never exactly your forte, so you're making, you're making a difference. You're helping, but it's not the sort of extent of helping where people would be pointing and be like, that's a lot. That person's like cutting our workload in half. It's like you're another arm in the force at the moment. Speeding things up, but not like to a significantly noticeable amount.
Now this was about the extent I could think of me helping, because she's a ranger. Her job is usually scouting and/or fighting things.
All right. Let's see here. Mika is going to make a scavenge check for finding books and putting them away. She's kind of distracted, though, so. All right. Alistair, what was it you were doing?
I was looking around, seeing if anyone needs any help, like with healing or illnesses, but also wants to know, like, how many have perished within the battle.
All right. Go ahead and make an inquiry check for me.
That'd be 2d6s.
Nobody has the inquiry. We do miss our bird.
A part of me wishes I put at least 2 in there now, but I put it in something else, but oh well.
All right. You can't get an exact number on how many people died in the attack, but it's a couple hundred at least. But a precise number is one you're having a hard time getting. As for people who are in need of medical attention, it seems like they've kind of already jumped on that, so there isn't really a whole lot of need for more healers at the moment. Like, they have that pretty well covered. Most of the injured who are recovered are already recovered. Anyone with more long-term injuries already have good care, so.
Fair enough.
All right. Thanatos, what about you?
I guess he can help clear rubble if there's any that needs help in clearing.
Okay, make a force check like me did.
Shit, what's my 57. No.
All right. So, Thanatos is, in unsurprising contrast to me when it comes to this, is doing some surprisingly potent heavy lifting when it comes to clearing out rubble and debris. Like, there are some large slabs of stone that might otherwise need more than one person to work on it, where Thanatos just walks up and just heaves it up. It's clearly a strain, but the guy's just pulling more than his weight very effectively, and is speeding things along quite nicely in the area he's working.
I mean, have you seen the site that he's swinging around?
He also just has a +7 to his force, so that's nice.
Well, some people are just broad, while others do it in style.
All right, and Kyra. Does Kyra have anything she wants to contribute?
I imagine she'll just be helping us, because she has a similar problem to me of what else is she doing in the situation?
I mean, yeah, pretty much by now they probably already found all the people that were trapped and anything else. I guess maybe I can't think of anything.
Kyra and Nee are both at the end of the day soldiers, so
I can make a suggestion then.
What?
Kyra will volunteer to help scour the city for search of any lingering particulates or shards of amber left over from the confrontation. Because as you recall, when Anima was defeated, all of the true demons over the city just shattered and broke apart, showering the whole city with shards, and there's still cleanup operations in motion for that. So Kyra will make a scavenge check to help clear that out.
What does Kyra have for scavenge for?
All right.
12.
All right. With Kyra's effective ability to jump really high and her keen eyesight, she is darting all over the city, picking out spots where there's lingering bits of amber, just hanging out in secluded, darkened corners where people haven't thought to look yet. And before long, she's managed to help organize entire wagons of heavily warded wagons just loaded with amber to be taken out of the city and destroyed. So she's making a pretty good effort there.
She fast.
She fast, she jump good, she see good. All right, and so, would you like for these efforts to persist into the second day of your wait?
Pretty sure we're just doing our thing until we can leave.
All right, well then. You spend the next couple of days hard at work, tidying things up in the city, helping out wherever you can, and the population is definitely appreciative of all the aid. Like, by the time the second day is, by the time you're getting up on the day the little wing is fully repaired, you're getting a lot of appreciative looks from people as you're going about doing your thing. They're very happy for the assistance you've provided. All right. So, with that said, it is on the morning of the day the little wing is fully repaired that you all come to. You are provided with rooms in the Central Academy itself, of course. So you all sort of come to on that last day and proceed at your leisure.
So we go to the Little Wing, yes?
Well, I guess we all wake up first, but yeah.
I'm giving you guys a chance to interact if you wanna.
Which,
If
like I said, Alasai woke up a bit rough, but he tidies himself up and gets his stuff together and puts on a smile and ready to leave the room.
All right.
and he's gonna, well, that morning check up on Mika.
All right. You step out into the common room of this particular sort of a set of dorms, and you see Mika is sitting at one of the little love seats sort of around the center of the room, just sitting there reading through that book on advanced blue magic you got her.
So, has my romantic genius taught you much?
Some. Blue mages are insane, let me tell you.
Not going to be asking Rocket to kick you when we meet her again, are you?
No. Fascinating as the subject is, it's not for me to actually practice it.
Are you hanging up?
I'm managing.
Resilient old place. Look at some of the students, you wouldn't have thought there was an attack.
It's been here for centuries. Just did a lot.
Yeah.
And you have to be tough just to get here. I mean, you remember the climb.
Oh, don't remind me. I remember the burrito.
So do I. So do I.
Yeah. But yeah, I suppose when you think about it, what happened here wasn't the first time. Probably won't be the last either. Place of wellspring of power and mages.
It's a big target for anything wanting to cause chaos. Any enemies of Lapinia especially. That's why it's so heavily guarded. With the barrier and all the mages and the golems.
You'll not last any of us. And I feel sorry for anyone who comes here while Shantoto's still kicking and rhyming.
She sort of thumps closed the book.
We're heading out today, right?
Right. It's gonna be quite a trip down to the Hellfire Pit, but with any luck, we should find our favorite cyborg bird around there. And even if we don't, hopefully Sid will have something to report after having spent a few days there themselves. And we have a fire crystal to collect, too.
2 of them.
Yeah.
If we're lucky, Velmarek will be hanging around in that area.
That was the idea. Still, it's been a while.
Well,
She sits up and puts away the book.
no point in keeping them waiting then, I guess.
See whether they looked after my ship properly.
I imagine they did.
Can't get any worse than the Muggles.
No kidding.
And that's when we find out they just parked it against the academy somewhere, just leaning.
All right. All right, so with that, I'm assuming everyone else is up and about and gets ready to depart.
Correct.
Yep.
All right. So you gather your things, you go through your morning rituals, and you make your way back to the dry dock and the airship landing. And when you arrive, you can see that the last touches on the repairs are being finalized as you're walking in. And the Galka engineer you spoke to before turns to the rest of you as you're approaching and puts on a big smile. Hey! Welcome back.
Hey, how's the ship?
She's gonna be flying good as new here in just a few minutes. And can I just point out that this thing is a work of art? Who made it?
It's a Vataean scout vessel that belongs to the Rangers.
Huh. I've never gotten a chance to work on one of these. The
It's not the only one of
the aerodynamics of it is stellar.
Well, they're designed to be fast, nimble, and get you in and out in a pinch. It's not the only one of its class, but it's mine, so that makes it the best.
When she doesn't crash it.
It's not my fault that those trees broke all laws of reality. That's the gods have wanted to do.
Right, well, just give my boys a couple minutes and she'll be right as rain. And he smiles over at you and heads off to oversee the final adjustments.
Well then,
This is Kyra speaking.
once more into the breach, huh?
Seems so. Though, we're going to have to deal with another trip for a few days, so get found as a sick bucket.
Hey, he seems to be doing pretty good about airships these days.
I haven't gotten sick in a while, me.
Yeah, by the time I joined you guys, he wasn't even vomiting. I kind of missed that whole thing. Kind of makes me sad.
In that case, you wouldn't mind if I do some particularly extravagant maneuvers, would you, Thanatos?
He just slowly turns and just glares.
Hey, I mean, if you're over your air sickness, I don't see the problem. Do you, Kyra?
I puke. I'm gonna make sure it's in your bed.
Oh, don't worry. If it gets particularly bad, we'll just lock you in the hold until it's done.
All right. Couple minutes pass as the finishing touches are put on, and before long, the engineers are clearing out, and you are given the go-ahead to disembark at your leisure.
Let's go.
Say need do the thing.
All right, so you all get aboard the Little Wing, get your things put away. Before long, final checks are complete, and with the now very familiar clunking and humming, you pull the Little Wing out of the dry dock, turn her to the south and to the west, and you start to make your way for the Hellfire Pit, way, way, way away. I need to make sure I don't accidentally take Kelgor's token. So this is going. Yeah, so this is going to be about a 10-day flight, all things considered.
10 days.
Yeah. to get to the Hellfire Pit, yeah, about 10 days, roughly.
So we should arrive on the 8th of October, Fading Life.
Indeed.
A few days before Stampy's birthday.
Do not call him.
And that's just the tank that's named after you, the Thanatos Heavy Armor Mobile Battle Platform.
And then there's the Talion, which is a small version, also called Tally.
Oh my And
Get used to it, broski.
And do you call the Caius the Cali?
No, we just call that the Caius.
So Caius doesn't get a little nickname.
Because he doesn't have an acronym. Thampy only exists because it's an acronym. And we just made the Tally and the Tally just to keep it the naming convention. I'm pretty sure the Caius actually, design-wise, came first.
Yeah, well, we had come up with the concept for the Thanatos, and then you went off and built a vehicle that could go inside it before you built the Thanatos.
Yeah. Now then, either way, let us pull back in here.
Indeed.
So, over the course of the first day of your flight, you once again are flying over the familiar regions of northern Lapinia. Looking down, you can, you can see the familiar shoreline and shapes of the Tarlo Forest and Lake Reno. You can see the village of Dali. You think you can see Puktha as you're passing overhead in those first couple of days of flight. And you're struck by this wave of nostalgia reminding you of your first flight to Linsalem way back in the day, when you were first hunting down Deviacorp with Nabat in the hold. It's been a very long time since then, but you're still moving strong. As you fly, as you fly further south and away from the mountains, temperatures begin to rise, but only slightly, as you have very much started to dip into the colder temperatures and colder months at this point. Nevertheless, several days pass as you continue your flight. Do you want to fly over or steer around the Amber Coast?
Steer around?
I vote around.
Yeah, I'm not in the mood to deal with Aramons today.
I mean, at this point, you could probably just one-shot them with your dagger.
Unless he decides, since Diablos and Paradox is getting stronger, here's, some super uber demon lord thing.
I just noticed something.
What?
Look down at the name Amber Eternal down there.
No.
That is the only label on the entire map, I think, that comes with a period.
Yes, sure.
It's the only one with that punctuation mark.
My disappointment is immeasurable. My day's ruined.
I didn't even notice. I totally forgot that was there.
Well, that's it for all of Chronicles of Eno today, ladies and gentlemen.
No. I'm just pointing it out. It's like, that's odd.
Well, now you've triggered one of the Brits.
At any rate, so if there's anything anyone wishes to do during the flight, do let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Is there? Okay, here's a question. Does Nee have a chair in the hold, or is she just standing the whole time? She's steering
in the wheelhouse.
Yeah,
guess that'll be up to Tom.
I mean, when steering, she'd probably be standing.
Damn.
Why?
Nothing.
Were you gonna do something stupid?
No.
Of course he is. He's not.
All right. Well then.
I'm thinking about putting something in Nee's seat while she sat down.
If it's a spider, she will kill you.
No, I'm not suicidal.
I imagine there's a couple of stations, like weapon stations and shit, that have seats, but the wheel itself is just standing.
All right, well. Opting to go around the Amber Coast, you cut south and fly over Ixion's spine. And for the next couple days of the flight, you are flying over the Nomad's Steppe. And you can look down over the sides if you so wish, and you can see this long and rolling expanse of just open, treeless grassland. And before long, on the second day in this region, you're passing over the Uzora Desert, pincered on the left and right by Mount Uzor and Ixion's spine. The familiar geography and terrain seen from above, particularly to Thanatos, as you are about to pass right by your old home.
Yay.
Indeed.
Can I fire a cannon at it?
No.
I mean, you can, technically. I don't know if Tom will let you, because Nee's the one on the wheel. But if you want to fire a shot at Kurzatan as you pass and absolutely miss, you can try.
No.
We made peace with that place. Come on.
We tried to. We don't know how it is now. For all we know, Kellyan or whatever the hell his name is could have just started another crime family, a much more competent one.
Well, it's Kellyan, yeah.
But he's better off than the previous one. Hopefully.
Maybe.
Well, we'll see, because he was, from what I remember, a very honourable person. We made agreements of him, like, turning the fortunes of the city around, compared to Carl, who was the one who sent the Benaldi family down the despotic crime family route because he was a greedy asshole. And incompetent.
Yeah, that and Chakal was just horribly incompetent.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So, like, the Benaldi family went from like a rich family within the city with extensive ties and influence over the local governing body to, hey, we're a crime family now, give us all your shit, we're running this place into the dirt.
I mean, it had been a crime family for a while. It was just a crime family with an eye for stability. It had been a crime family since before Chakal took over. He just was like, hey, I got all this power, let's just abuse it. Instead of, there's a very delicate balance of power that we have to maintain in order to keep the city and our family above ground.
Yeah, I mean, the way they used to run, I can almost relate to the monetarists in Noldar.
Yeah. It's like they went from the monetarists to the corpse brigade, only bigger.
Yeah. So, yeah, they went from, these guys are kind of dicks to, Jesus Christ, shoot them now. Fucking hell.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like dicks, but they serve a purpose. Anyways, so, moving on. Either way, you elect not to fire a shot at Kurzatan as you pass, and before long, you are passing out of the Uzora Desert and into the greater Uzora Desert. And at this point, things are getting hot. Like, even with it being, like, early, even with it being, like, early fall or mid-fall, moving on towards winter at a pretty decent clip, it's still warm here, even with the wind chill as you're blitzing through the skies.
I hope this thing has air conditioning.
Certainly. But, regardless, I mean, the wind chill is your air conditioning. But either way...
Strategic and they can't make air conditioning.
But regardless, you spend several more days flying across the open expanse. And before long, you start seeing the terrain beneath you starting to change. You've never seen this region before, but you have heard of it. You don't even need to make a lore check. You've seen it on the maps, and it is, in some ways, very mythical, just like the land that lies immediately to the south. This is the closest you have ever been to the Amber Eternal. And to our party members with an affinity for darkness, Neothil and Thanatos, you can sense it to the south. It's just this subtle tingling on one side of your body, this crawling sensation, like there are little bugs or insects worming their way over your skin on that side. You can tell that that is a place of immeasurable corruption, and you are brushing its edge as you begin to fly over a much more rocky form of terrain. It's still a desert, but unlike the sweeping dunes of the Greater Uzora Desert or the more pillar-like mesas of the Lesser Uzora Desert, here you're looking down on a labyrinthian structure of canyons and cliff faces, all this dusty color of sand and dirt that just winds and curves and swirls in on itself over and over and over again with ridge lines and dips and gaps and valleys. You imagine that if you weren't on airship, you would very, very easily get lost in all of that and probably die of dehydration long before you could find your way out. It is almost impossible to see a meaningful way through it, and the sheer scale of the cliffs means that navigating them properly, that scaling any of them to get to high ground would be almost not worth the effort. It is spiky.
Rockets accompanied by God.
It is spiky, it is sharp, it is serrated, jagged, and confusing.
Yeah, Odin can probably go through it, but not us. We're flying. We're cheating.
As for our other friend, given the fact that it's a token and guided by everything crystal, I imagine he had some sort of plan.
Looking ahead, on the final day of the trip, as you know you're approaching the Hellfire Pit, you can see up ahead this shadow in the sky, this enormous circle of blackened clouds that faintly thrum with red and orange energy here and there. Like storm clouds, but instead of lightning, they crackle with bursts of flame, like solar flares from a sun, pulsing down through the blackened clouds, swirling back up and then disappearing in a matter of moments. And in the distance, you can hear the rumbling of it, and you can already feel the heat on your faces as you're drawing closer, temperatures rising, and the wind is getting drier and drier, and you can taste the smoke of it on your tongue. And further ahead, you can see, barely visible against the blackened horizon as you're drawing closer, this gargantuan spire of serrated, broken rock and stone, coming up to this flattened top that you would presume leads down into the core of the volcano, this dip, whatever you call it, at the top of the crater. And you can see billowing out of it this enormous cloud of blackened smoke feeding into the sky above and this perpetual firestorm that rages overhead. You have all entered into a fire elemental field. I should point that out.
Well, I would say this is good for you, Thanatos, but given that everything we're going to encounter here is going to be fire-themed already.
Quite.
Preemptively, Nee is loading up water arrows.
All right.
Well, since I'm the only one that can use the water element.
Not anymore.
Hmm? What do you mean, not anymore?
My new spell can do lightning or water damage.
Sweet. That's a good thing you did that. Either way, is there any sort of obvious clearing where an Itza token might be willing to set up?
Make an awareness check.
Roll that awareness need.
That's one of the ones I put shit into, because awareness in any campaign ever is use skills.
Except when you roll like that.
I mean, she's got a +7, so it's still not a bad roll. Looking down and sort of looking around, it's actually really hard to get a good view of things below through the smog in the air. Like, the closer you get to the volcano, the harder and harder it is to see any meaningful distance. Everything is all, covered in this increasingly thick haze of yellow and red smog and secondhand smoke that's drifted lower down in the atmosphere.
Thanatos is looking out himself, by the looks of it.
Give me a second. I dropped a thing.
You dropped the thing.
Dropped the fidget I have. With a 14, Thanatos, you are also having a hard time spotting a safe landing zone or a clearing large enough to house the Little Wing. However, as you are looking, you do notice something that Nee just misses. As your eyes are sort of sweeping across the horizon, Nee is so focused on sort of trying to angle the airship to look down at the ground and look for a landing zone, she missed it. As your eyes land on the Hellfire Pit again, you see that its peak, where the smoke is billowing out, is rumbling more. And you can see flashes of orange and red light through the smoke. And then
So, do you think
something comes out of and then something comes out of the smoke. And it's flying right for your ship.
So, who's betting Ifrit knows we're here?
I don't know. Is it something like an attack or something like a figure?
It is a fireball flying right for the ship at high speeds.
Evasive actions!
All right, go ahead and make a evasion check if you would be so, or not evasion, a fucking vehicles.
Vehicle.
That's what I was trying to think of. So go ahead and roll that for me, please.
Fuck, why am I getting the same rolls over and over, 3 and 1?
I mean, you can refresh the page if you want, but that one's still gonna stick. All right, so you rolled a 9 on your vehicle check. You know what? I'm actually gonna go ahead and compare that to something. 1 second.
Is Ifrit attacking us?
Okay, so oh yeah.
Jeez. I mean, that was no contest. He had a plus 11. Why did he even bother rolling?
In case he got snake eyes.
Wait, is it? So wait, is that Ifrit's accuracy?
All right, so give me a moment here. So you see this fireball coming, and it is far faster than you were expecting. You start to try and pull the Little Wing aside, but you don't have time, and the fireball explodes across the side of the Little Wing in a storm of flames. I need to real quickly remind myself of what the Little Wing's magic armor is.
The stat block is right here.
I know one thing with that amount of force, it'd definitely shake the ship.
16.
Oh, absolutely.
That sent Alistair off his seat flying.
Is it? What the hell?
Yeah.
Ah, there it is.
Fortunately, this is damage we can probably repair with repair job. Yeah.
Indeed. Also, again, question: why is Ifrit shooting at us?
Because he has a temper. We know this.
All right, so that is in total 171 points of damage the Little Wing takes.
Didn't Leviathan already talk to him or something?
She tried, at least.
I'm guessing he told her to fuck off.
You don't know you don't know for sure.
Well, we know that he's expecting us because, like, he's the one who took the other crystal we already retrieved, told that Sarcophagus guy to take it to the Hellfire Pit because he didn't see any of us as worthy. He wants to rock it. Yeah.
So again, why is he shooting at us?
Because he's a dick.
He is a dick.
Anyway, so how are you responding to this? You have a moment to do something in response.
Well, in the air we're sitting ducks. Can we again try and find anywhere to set the Little Wing down?
Make another awareness check.
Okay, we're all doing awareness checks. Fuck it. Okay, Kyra.
I am rolling horribly.
So you are.
Yes, but okay, Kyra.
I go from a 1 and a 3 to a 1 and a 4. What do you fucking do?
And apparently,
dear.
apparently there's ones everywhere. What the fuck is this?
I don't know.
Alistair!
Because
he's in the hole at the moment. Just got freaking jonked by a fucking
Get your
fireball,
ass
didn't he?
up here before we feed you to the giant demon
Jesus,
monster.
there are a lot of ones today. What the hell?
Alistair, just get up here and do an awareness check. I don't care, just do it.
Yeah, like you have enough time for Alistair to get up onto the top deck.
Roll for
You roll,
Kyra.
you. I did roll for Kyra. She got an 11.
Got 2 11s.
In the fuck! Hit our ship this time.
14.
Oh.
All right, Alistair gets it.
Yeah, he's just.
All right, so as the flames are parting from around the ship after that large hit, leaving this big dent and scorch mark on the side of the Little Wing, Alistair, you come scrambling up. Everyone else is looking frantically over the sides of the ship, shouting to each other like, maybe we can land there? Not too rocky. What about over there? Nah, fiery. You look over, and as you're doing so, you spot another location down below, and you quickly point it out. It's very rocky, and it'll be a precarious landing, but it should at least provide some shelter and cover from any further attacks.
Bring her down.
All right. Go ahead and make for me another vehicles check, please.
Now listen here, you little shit of dice. Like, that's what I
Slightly
thought.
better.
All right, that is slightly better. So, you bring the Little Wing down, and you look up, and you see that there's another fireball flying out of the Hellfire Pit towards you.
Tom got the same as me.
I'm going to go ahead and reduce this to 1d6.
It's still a plus 11.
He
It's
needs,
still-
he
it's
needs
still
one
plus
to
11.
hit.
He needs 1 to miss. Yeah. No.
All right, so
Well, it's a good thing we did repairs before we came here.
all right.
Because Ifrit is an ass.
All right, so as you're bringing the Little Wing down, just as you're about to get into cover, another fireball comes flying out, and once again, it's very difficult to avoid it. The fireball slams into the other side of the airship. There's a loud explosion. You can hear stuff rattling around within, but finally, you're able to bring the Little Wing down to this very rocky and hard landing. You all sort of struggle to keep from being thrown off your feet. Mika is thrown off her feet and sort of rolls across the deck for a minute. But finally, after a few more seconds, the dust begins to clear, and an eerie calm falls over you, and no more attacks fly your way.
What a welcome from one of our patron deities.
I know Robert said he would have a temper, but this is just being an asshole.
Before we do anything, let's try and repair some of the scorching. Repair job, Dex times 4, if I recall, that's the Little Wings Dex, isn't it? Or is
Yeah,
that Dex?
yeah, it's Little Wings Dex. And again, you can assign numerous people to it, so the more people you have on it, you can roll it multiple times.
So, well, I mean,
But-
everybody should.
Yeah,
probably
everyone can do it once, and at that point, we'll say that is the extent of the repairs you can make.
So, for the first one, so it's 2d6 plus 60. 2d6.
Rolling.
2d6 plus 60.
Yeah, I forgot the
to repair
dash
the
roll.
Little Wing.
Okay.
There we go. So that's 64 HP. Between everyone, we can get the ship back up and running.
All right, let's get a roll from Mika.
And there's Alistair.
And I got the highest.
Yeah, I think it's back up to full after all that.
Yeah, 332 hit points back to the Little Wing.
Did Kaya help out?
And that's why I have 2 rolls.
Yeah, you're back up to 988, so you're close to max, but you're a little off.
By 12.
So yeah,
So,
you'll find that most of the damage was surface level, and while you still have very visible dents and scratches to the paint, it was mostly blunt force, and the heat wasn't able to penetrate too much deeper into the heart of the ship, so you were able to just sort of scrub off the burn marks and pull out some of the dents, but it's as much as you can do. The ship is still largely in working order. It seems more like those attacks were meant as a deterrent, more than an actual attempt at causing legitimate lasting damage.
Sure felt like it.
So is that just a defense mechanism for anything that flies over, or did he legit just want to throw fireballs at us?
I don't know.
I know one thing, Adesai is writing in the book because he was doing that before he was hit, and there's a great big freaking line going down.
Yeah, there's just like the squiggle that just randomly goes across the page. The page is just kind of ripped halfway down.
Yep. And then I was like, sorry for that. We have arrived and got a fiery welcome.
So, it is where we are on the map where we landed.
More or less, yeah. You're right at the base of the volcano.
So, not would it be a bad idea to take this thing up in the air anytime soon until we've subdued our host.
Do I suddenly hear Hellfire playing in my head?
For the time being, let's stick around for a little while, secure the perimeter, and see whether it's a talking friend made any note of the little wing being pelted with fireballs. Hopefully he's in the general area and would have been able to see that.
I scout the area.
As you're saying that Mika says,
I just hope the Stargazer's alright. They came here ahead of us.
Yeah, I was about to say
Great! Now I got one.
Everyone in the Stargazer came.
Right in the book, Alistair, you have the book, don't you? Ask them.
I'd say I hope Sid. Well, Sid's a lot more experienced than you are, Nee, so maybe he's a little better at dodging.
We are here, although how did you fare? Is everyone okay?
Write that down in the book, and you don't get any response for now.
That's not good.
Nothing. As he sadly closed the book. Hopefully, we might get some response later.
Give them time, they might be preoccupied.
They're probably preoccupied. This place doesn't exactly look friendly.
Well, the guard
doesn't feel it
here isn't
either.
exactly friendly.
You know, for some reason, I'm getting flashbacks when the ship went down. It was the same pain, but slightly worse.
Let's secure the area, make sure we're clear, and then wait a little while, see if anything or anyone turns up before we make another move.
Alright.
A couple hours.
Alright, so everyone's gonna move to start securing the area then? Alright. I will say that the area you've landed in, it is in the middle of a collection of different sort of spiraling sandy corridors surrounded by these towering walls of dusty stone. So you're sort of surrounded more or less on all sides by walls of stone, but there does seem to be a path sort of heading vaguely in the direction you need to go.
May I make a suggestion?
Go for it.
Kyra can do the jumpy jump. Can she jump to the high, like a high point, and see if she can see the Stargazer?
That would be a very impressive jump. She may attempt to make the leap. Go ahead and make for me an athletics check for Kyra to see if she can.
Would it help if she stood on something high before making the jump, like she went to the top of the little wing to do it?
I mean, that might decrease the DC by 1.
Every little helps. What if she stood on Thanatos' shoulder? 11.
An 11. No, not quite. These are some very, very, very tall cliff sides. So even with her full height jump, she springs up into the air, and she comes back down a few seconds later.
Hold on. Kyra's got 15 destiny.
If you want to pump a destiny point into that, you may.
How about 17?
That'll do. She needed a 15. So, with that extra destiny boost, it looks for a moment like she's about to start petering out at the height of her jump, but then she seems to get this clever idea and sort of does this lash out with her whip that gives her a bit more upward momentum from the force of the swing, and she uses that to get to the top of one of the at least lower points, and from there she's more easily able to hop higher and higher and higher up. She's gone for a good few minutes before she comes jumping back down to the center of the clearing and starts making her way back towards the little wing.
All right, I didn't see any immediate sign of the Stargazer, but I also didn't see any wreckage, so on that front, no news is good news.
See anything else up there?
Nope, not really.
That's a pretty impressive jump, though.
Thanks.
As she's saying that I need everyone to make an awareness check, please.
Oh, fuck.
Here we go again.
Tom actually does pretty well this time, unlike me.
Mika's?
And that's for me. Son of a bitch.
So it looks like Mika and Nee are right in their element.
Yeah, so, Thanatos and Alistair miss it. But everyone else hears a slow rumbling sound, like stone grinding on stone. It's getting louder and louder. Kyra looks around for a second. What the? Right behind her, there's a sudden upward burst as the sand explodes upwards, and briefly obscuring her in the cloud as you hear this horrifying, chittering sound from inside the dust cloud, accompanied by a shout of pain from Kyra.
What the hell?
As the dust begins to fall, you see this towering creature, long and red-skinned, no eyes, and plenty of little spindly mandibles sort of spiraling off of its body and clamped tightly in its mouth with various serrated teeth, is Kyra, struggling against it. Then a second passes.
Throw stone?
Well, one thing first, because this is actually kind of important.
Are you trying to get rid of Kyra? Or find a reason to get rid of Kyra?
For reasons.
Just hush.
The worm then gives one more great big twist of its head, and Kyra is sent flying off to one side with this cry of pain before smacking into the stone wall of the sort of enclosure you're in. And you all hear, even from this distance, this loud, sickening crack before she falls to the ground.
I see exactly what you're doing here. You wanted this to happen so you have an excuse to take Kyra out of the party.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah.
Hey.
So much for having Kyra through the Hellfire Pit and losing her afterwards.
Yeah. So, all right. We on the map?
Yep.
Alrighty.
This does put us one party member down for this fight, though.
Yeah.
Indeed. As it is party's turn, right?
Yes.
Thanatos sees Kyra just not moving.
Yeah, she's lying still.
And you all just see his eyes go like coals, his cape is bellowing, and he's not happy.
You should think not. His girlfriend just got her spine broken.
So
He legitimately broke her spine.
Effectively.
maybe. So, Tom, what was the quarter of his health again?
Give me a second. My cursor has disappeared.
Oh no.
Can I say there were plenty of ways to remove Kyra from the party without being this mean about it?
Yeah, but it's me. It's 136, by the way.
Okay. Hold on.
Come on, cursor. Come back. Come back. I need you. There we go.
Okay. So,
Phew.
100 and what?
36.
In a blind rage, if the DM will just, it'll be a bit of a stretch, but for the circumstances, if the DM would allow just him to just cross the distance in a blind rage for story purposes.
You can make an athletics check to see if you can cross that distance that fast with your movement action.
Because I put some in athletics.
I was figuring you would just immediately unload with a limit break.
Would I have to expend Destiny to use the limit break?
Yes.
Okay.
I-
Well then,
If only it were Mika, as much as I hate to say that. But if it was Mika, I could have done a free limit break.
Yeah, because limit breaker. Mika took limit breaker, by the way, so now she mirrors that with you.
so is a 16 enough?
A 16 to cross the distance? Yeah, I'll say that does it. So, like, Xanatos just leaps the whole distance.
It's just like a black blur as he runs up to this thing, and then is this plus 8? Does a 16 hit?
Let me pull up its stat block, and I will get back to you. Yes, a 16 hits.
I've just added to the art adaptation list, Kyra back be broke.
For, like, the artwork.
Yeah. Seems like an appropriate moment.
Indeed. And oh, hold on, that's not quite. So 17. So this is dark side infused. So
Gets extra damage steps.
146.
Ouch. Alright, so, is that elemental in any way?
Oh, it's shadow because it's dark side.
Okay, this thing doesn't have any particular elemental reactions to shadow, so after taking in its armor, it takes 81 points of damage from that blow.
So it's got stupidly high armor. Okay. Well, he was in a blind rage, so
Yeah,
I guess
so
he wasn't.
you watch as
exactly like that.
Thanatos darts off the top of the little wings, surrounded in this swirl of purple and black energy, crossing the distance between him and this sandworm with little effort, and brings his scythe across to strike at its chest. There's this loud pulse and this flash of shadowy energy as he strikes it in the chest, and you can feel the resistance of its thick hide. You don't make quite as much headway through it as you would like, but you nevertheless are able to do some pretty significant damage all the same before kicking back and off of it. And it lets out this long, loud, shrieking roar of pain.
Alistair, protect Kyra. Mika with me.
You got it. Astra.
Alright, so what is there a range on Astra?
No.
No.
Okay. So yeah, this you managed to put this barrier around Kyra. I will say for purposes that you have to sort of run up to here, use your movement action to get a visual on her, but you get up to that point.
I'm moving.
Yeah, you get up there, you quickly flare out your hand and this yellow dome appears over Kyra.
I also
Use your-
want the healer.
Yes.
Since that's
Do
an
that.
instant action. Okay.
Alright.
One Karaka coming up.
Alright, you're using Kiraga on Kyra.
Yep.
It's not gonna be
she
able
needs
to-
it.
Well, she's still not gonna be able to fight, but at least.
Yeah, but you know, extra life since I can't give
Mhm.
her a potion.
Alright.
Distance. I ain't throwing a potion.
Yes. Yeah, you'd need to be a
Further.
yeah, you'd need to be a chemist to do that.
Yeah.
And my PDF has stopped responding. What does the MP cost of Kiraga?
Here. I got the rulebook
50 or
open. I got white
60,
magic.
check.
Kiraga is 60.
Yep, 60.
Bringing you down to 190, and I believe it does 9 times 8 healing, right?
Bind times 8 to 1 target. Yes.
Yeah, it does, and now I just need to click the and whoa. And it's taking a while to load.
Of course it is.
Come on, I didn't upgrade you for nothing, you bastard.
But yes. Well, when that number comes up, I'll just add it to her health anyway. So, if Nee and Mika would like to continue.
Yeah, Nee is gonna shoot.
All right, go ahead and make an accuracy check.
There we go.
There's Alistair, 145.
This is.
All right, a 13 just hits.
13 just hits. Noted. This is water elemental.
All right.
2 times 4.
So its damage output will be increased by 50% then.
So
it's weak to water.
Makes
Indeed.
sense. It's in a fiery habitat.
Alrighty. So give me a moment here. Alright, so give me a moment. Wrong button.
Wrong. Baton.
Alright, so after armor calculations and whatnot, that'll square out to about 40 points. And you discern its armor score is 65. As this water arrow flies out and strikes against its hide at about the same point where Thanatos hit it, there's this flash of water and it lets out another sort of agitated from that, but it seems to be doing pretty well for itself at the moment, all things considered.
try magic.
The Mika shoot the ice at it, yes.
Alright.
The ice.
So what was Mika's
Freeze
new,
it.
What was Mika's new spells again?
She picked Curaja for her superior white magic spell.
She only got one spell?
Yeah, she only got one spell,
mean,
and
I
she
got
and she'll
one.
only get one more spell, I believe at level 14, and then she's capped.
Yep.
So she's
What about
just,
Zaltaya?
so her roster is almost full as far as the spells she can learn is concerned.
What about Alasaya? How many spells can he learn to?
You get one more superior at 14, and then at 15 you get holy.
Yes.
Nice.
Mika does not get an ancient spell because she is a red mage.
All right, so Mika is going to cast Blizzara because that's the only spell she can, she thinks will really do much good here.
I mean, maybe it's got a weakness to ice too.
And ice is frozen water, so it would melt under water. But let's see.
So that'll be her mind times 5. So 90.
Oh, that's a common thing. Fire versus ice.
Alright, so it just winds up being a flat 90 damage, as it does indeed take double damage from ice. But its magic armor is 45, so it cut that number in half, and then the number just got doubled again, so it pretty much just canceled out. So a shard of ice goes flying free from Mika's book and strikes against the front of the sandworm, causing it to rear back once again with this angered, growling, chittering sound, but is still standing tall and strong.
Still,
Shit,
our
it's a
next
durable
turn.
bastard.
Our next turn, tells us you want to try your new water thing.
I just might, but first to the worm, if you please.
Indeed. So, let's see here.
Tells me he's either just in a bad mood or this is some kind of test for us.
Also, I made a slight mistake in regards to its avoidance. Its avoidance is supposed to be 11, not 13. That was my mistake.
Oh.
Regardless, doesn't really change a whole lot. Anyways. So, let's see here. Gonna roll something real quick. All right, so the sandworm's glare is going to look past you, Thanatos, and it's going to slither around to here, its bottom sort of pulling up more and more out of the sand, and you see just how grotesquely long this thing is.
What is it doing?
Let's see here.
Oh dear.
Well-
It's going.
Well, it can't
Okay.
quite reach Mika, so instead it's going to go for knee, because the knee's right there.
I'm right in front of it.
Yeah, but you're not the one
Oh,
who
shit.
threw a giant brick of ice at it. It's trying to get at Mika. Anyway, so, Tom, as you are in its way to its current target, I need you to make an opposed force check as its mouth opens wide and this intense wind starts to pull on you.
Force, I can't use finesse. Jesus.
He rolled really well.
And you're giving all
me.
the enemies really inflated plus numbers nowadays.
I mean, that's just the
Oh.
natural byproduct of, oh
Oh no.
boy.
I am cursed today with the ones.
Yeah, and as far as like the inflation of its numbers, that's just a natural result of us getting into such high levels.
I mean, this thing's probably level 12.
It is a level 12. It's a level 12 notorious enemy.
Of course it is.
Yep, it's gonna hurt.
So, you rolled a critical failure,
Yep.
so you brace yourself to try and resist, but immediately your footing just, you can't quite get like a firm grip on the ground with it being sandy, and as the wind starts to pull on you, it's almost like slipping on ice, except more grainy. The ground beneath you pulls away as sand is pulled in. You immediately fall onto your ass and take, let me see here. Oh, lucky you. You only take 10 points of damage, unmitigated, from falling on your ass, but then you are immediately, you are sucked in and swallowed whole. So,
Does this count towards Mika's limit breaker?
no, because you are, okay, so here's how this works. While you are held within this thing's belly, you will be considered to be afflicted with the poison status condition so long as you are within. You can try to escape by making a successful opposed force check, or if you can manage to land an attack roll with 1d6. Seeing as you are constricted on all sides by its innards, you are also technically considered to be blinded, hence the 1d6.
Okay.
And that is its action. Start of the round. With you guys, first thing that happens is Nee will lose 20% of her max HP as poison damage.
Okay, so Thanatos is going to see this. He is going. Not only did this thing hurt Kyra, now it is swallowed Nee. He is having
None of it.
none.
Is he going to
136,
sacrifice
right?
another 25%?
Yeah, 136, right?
Yeah.
So another half of his HP, but
Last
now-
resort kicks in.
Yes, as well as Dark Side, and he's having none of the shit. So he is using his tier 2 limit break.
All right. Fuck. Okay.
Is it 3 or 2?
It's tier 2. We don't have tier 3 limit breaks yet.
No. The Destiny cost is it 2 or 3?
I believe it's 3. I believe.
Okay, so what was the safety net?
Let's see here. What?
The safety net deal. Like if we die, then this amount of Destiny can save us. Like how much was that? 7?
I think so. Yeah. Like you have
Okay.
to have 7, but it costs all of your destiny to do.
Okay, so yeah.
Anyway,
he's fine.
so let's see here. So
So if I recall correctly, I gotta get his sheet back up. And this one is power times 9, but on top that's 3 from Dark Side, and now 3 from Last Resort.
yeah.
so
So
it's power times 15.
Jesus.
And we also have to add half of the damage that he's taken so far. So
It also
Let's
ignores
see.
armor and magic armor.
indeed it does. So
You suddenly got a lot louder, by the way.
a little closer to my mic, sorry. How's
That's
that?
all right.
Okay, so
Cat detector. Yes. Jesus.
So, one.
I like how he made her pupils question marks.
Okay, hold on.
It's a good picture.
446 minus 274. 272 damage. Divide that by half. 130. So again, it's plus 136. Okay, so power times 15. 17 times 15 to.
That
So
becomes
roll
255.
plus the 136. So this is going to be plus 391.
291 plus 2d6 points of shadow damage.
399 damage.
Jesus. All right. So, you all, like those of you who are not currently unconscious or consumed, so Alistair, you watch as Thanatos turns to this worm that just swallowed Nee whole, plucking her right out of the ground with this giant inhale. And he turns even darker as more and more shadowy energy ripples around him. In his hand, this crackling ball of dark energy forms, and with this guttural scream of rage, he presses it against its side, and there's this enormous flash of shadowy energy that actually sends it skittering back a ways as it takes all of that. Jesus. And now you need to roll a d6.
Oh yes, I must roll a d6 because it gets a new. It gets a new weakness.
Yeah.
And
It gets a new thing.
Or something.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
And it also has its accuracy, avoidance, and finesse for 4 rounds.
Jesus.
I love my limit break.
It's good.
It's painful.
And now for the d6. What does 5 give it?
5. Wind.
Oh, well, Alistair,
Oh.
now you have a thing.
Did you just say
But
it's
wind's not that great. With me.
for the next few rounds? Do you say its avoidance has been lowered?
Yes, accuracy, avoidance, and finesse have been halved for 4 rounds.
Guess who's killing it from the inside?
I mean, how much?
Oh,
How's it look after that?
It's not happy. It's like under half from that.
Well, I'm since I literally can't miss it now. Sort of a fail. So its avoidance
Its
is
accuracy is also halved, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, again, so its avoidance was what, 11?
Yeah.
So halved, that's...
So
Its
I rolled a
avoidance is
12.
now 5.
And... So yeah, knee hits.
All right. Go ahead and roll your damage. And on the grounds that you are inside of it, I will go ahead and say that its armor is circumvented.
Yeah, it's got no armor because I'm inside it. It has no armor.
Is this
You're-
squishy bits?
And it's
So
that
it's me-
moment the worm realized it really fucked up.
So is knee just going to just shoot her way out of this?
What
thing
weapon are you
going?
using? Your knife or your or your crossbow?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Dual wield,
carvy
motherfucker.
and shooty.
Okay, well, I mean, first attack. You pick your first attack here, because
first-
with the hit, it is gonna spit you out after that.
Huh. Well, for my first attack, I'll be using my.
Why
How
not use
far will
the
it
dagger?
spit me out? Do you think?
I mean, I would use the dagger and just say you
Yeah,
cut
use
yourself
the
out of
dagger
it.
first, and then shoot it on the way out.
'Cause it's not-
Alright, I can do it that way, just in case I get spat out the long way. So, yeah, so this is dash roll 2d6.
Because you're carving its insides, and then you insult it even more with a shot.
Lightning damage.
Lightning
If it has
damage.
any affinity to lightning.
Let me check its elemental reactions. It doesn't have any particular reactions to lightning, no, so it just takes a flat 104 from that.
So, I like how my dagger's straight plus 100 now.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
you feel this mighty blast on the side of this thing as you're constricted inside, and you can feel it squeezing you and burning at your skin as the acids are trying to digest you, and as it's writhing back, the tightness squeezing you lessens up for a second as it lets out this deafening roar. You manage to get a lungful of air as it stops constricting you, and at that same time you plunge your knife into the side of the lining of its innards. You hear it roaring again, and to the rest of you on the outside, you see it throwing its head back, thrashing wildly from side to side as bile and other unnameable yellow and greenish fluids squelch out of its mouth in these big spurts before, like, this bulge emerges in its center, rising up and up and up before with this deafening cracking sound and a deluge of green slimy goop. It spits Neothil out in a random direction.
Whoa.
All right, I was just rolling that 1d8 to determine the direction, so Nee, you get spat out over here.
All right.
So you are covered in burns, but you're up. All right, and that's with the crossbow.
Water damage. Water damage. Yep.
All right, its armor will be applied here because you are outside of it now. All right, so that comes out to 42 damage as you fire off a shot at it after picking yourself up off the ground. It is very not happy.
Dummy.
That's what it gets.
All right,
Mika,
Alistair,
go
what are you doing?
Wind blast it.
Gonna go.
That's it. Alistair,
Yep,
it has the wind
I was
weakness
gonna give
now.
something to Vanitas that cost like around. Nah, we don't need that. It'd be fine. I mean, this thing's about near death's door.
Kill the damn thing. Wind blast it. I gave it a wind weakness. Now use it.
Well, that's the thing. My wind attack does not that much compared to what my new spell can do.
But again, it has a wind weakness now. It's gonna be doubled.
Although, hang on a minute. I still got one of those wind crystals, haven't I? The elemental one.
Those create elemental fields.
It would increase your damage further, but I wouldn't say to use it on this thing since it's almost dead already. Save that.
It's practically dead already. Just wind blast it.
Okay. Only have one wind spell to do so.
I mean, it's still your power times 5, and then it'll be doubled.
Okie dokie, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Do the thing.
To the 10.
I do the thing.
All right, so you're using Aurora?
Alright, it is. Which is 30. Ah! And there goes my microphone.
And it's power
Back
times
up.
5.
After I rescued my microphone. There we go.
Goodness.
Buggers me. Everything's falling around me. Which soon to be this big ass worm. And do the thing. Let's see what I get.
All right.
That's pretty decent, I say.
All right, so does it give it a let's see here. Does it give a
So that's
full
100 and...
real quickly, I'm asking Thanatos, does your limit break give it a weakness or a vulnerability? Because there is a distinction there. Let me double check the thing it does.
Yeah, because this would be 136 damage if it's doubled.
Yeah, it says weakness.
Okay, what does that mean?
And a weakness. Give me a moment. Double damage.
Yes, that's 136 coming its way.
Well, I gotta apply its magic armor first.
Which isn't that still cut in half a bit?
No, its armor and magic armor weren't cut. Just its avoidance, accuracy, and finesse, was it?
Yes.
As it is, its magic armor is 45, so the damage total you get comes out to 46. As you send out this whoosh, this gust of air to blast against the greater sandworm, sending it sliding back a little more yet again with this Very frustrated noise.
Okay, I may have just fucked you over there. Maybe I should have just. Maybe you should have just.
Yes, I wanted to heal up people or even cast something on you, but mind.
All right, and now it is Mika's turn.
Now for the ice. The ice is nice.
The ice is nice. Yep. Another 20 MP for another Blizzara. Shit. Then multiply that by 1.5. For a total of 60 damage, as another shard of ice flies out of her book and stabs into this thing. And it lets out another angry warble. And now, it is its turn.
And I imagine it's not very happy.
Of course not.
He is losing quite spectacularly.
Right. Okay, so what this Greater Sandworm is going to do is chitter angrily at you. Its body sort of curling up, and then it's going to suddenly turn and dive. Its face is going to plow into the sand off to one side, and the whole thing is going to quickly burrow underground.
Oh shit, it's gonna pop up any moment, like Tremors.
Hold on.
You got
Okay,
something?
Okay, here's a question. Just as curiosity, my earth spell, can it hit him while he's underground?
Well, you could disturb the ground, I guess.
I mean, you don't have Quake.
No.
Your earth spells typically involve lifting up pieces of stone and throwing them at the enemies or making the ground snap up around them. This thing is underground and you don't have a visual on it, so I'll say no. You wouldn't be able to hit it with that particular spell at the moment unless you could discern its location. But, like, it wouldn't do extra damage because it's underground or anything, if that's what you were wondering.
I think the best thing we could do for the moment is get on top of the little wing. Kyra's fine. She has Astra. Whatever it does to her.
Doing that.
Do we really want it to come up out of the ground onto the little wing?
Do you want it to come out of the ground on top of us?
Think of it like Tremors. I prefer more solid ground. Thank you very much.
I mean, you can either wait for it to eat one of us, or
I mean, we're
you
allowed
can
to move,
let-
right?
Yeah.
Or the little wing
do
gets
it.
ever so slightly damaged, and it can take it.
Kyra,
You're off.
get off the ground. It's gone under.
Kyra can't move, but
Kyra's unconscious.
Yeah.
Kyra is currently
Oh, fuck.
with a broken spine, and Thanatos can't get over there anyway, so...
Yeah,
How
yes,
is
you
that?
can. You can use your entire turn to get over here. Double it.
That is true.
But what about this?
Although I was...
That is the wing of the little wing.
Yeah. And
Oh.
Kyra is Astrid, so nothing bad can happen to her at all for one attack. So.
Though I'm tempted just because
I'm
he's
tempted
so...
to go over there.
I'm tempted just because he's so pissed for him not to want to run.
Thanatos! Ship! Now!
But is he going to do it, or is he going to wonder Kyra?
You can't help Kyra if it eats you.
Very begrudgingly, he hates it so much, he's going to run on top of it and just stand right here.
Don't worry, she'll be fine.
All right,
I'll
that
keep
is
an eye on her.
everyone's. Good. Well, actually,
Although-
Mika only needed one standard her movement action to get up here, and Alistair, you've already used your whole turn to get up here. Mika was close enough that she only had to use her one movement action to get up here, so she still has a standard action. And so, if
What's she gonna do?
Thanatos wants one, she will offer him a high potion.
He
didn't-
He does not. He does not even notice it.
Okay. All right. With that done, then, it is back to the enemy. As you
So
are
I can't
all...
even heal.
I mean, you had to use more than a standard movement action to get onto the ship from where you were, so no.
Did I? I was here, around here.
I mean, to get to where you are now,
Hang on a minute.
yeah, maybe you could. Yeah, okay,
I
yeah,
can
sure.
cross
You
one
could,
step.
you could get in a heal if you want to. But Thanatos just turned down a high potion from Mika, so I don't know who you'd be healing.
Nee.
I mean, I could kill Kiarka for everyone, but something tells me Thanatos has something planned, is why, maybe.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah, he does more damage if he's hurt, so...
Right,
I
so-
guess focus on the heals on... I can't heal Kyra because I'm out of range, so big knee. You're gonna get a bit of a heal.
Still, the acid burns.
Yep, because that looks painful. Never fear, the paladin is here.
All right, so it is at this point on the enemy's turn, as you're giving that heal. I assume you're just using Cura.
She was Kira. Basically, I just mostly use that
He doesn't
one.
have Kira. He has Kira.
Yeah, well,
Yep.
anyway.
And I shall roll. What? Hang on. Oh, yeah, there we go. Now it's popped up for me.
All right, so Nee gets back 143 hit points. So she's back to full.
Nice.
And it is now that the sandworm emerges. I need to figure out where.
Just figure out where. Oh, so you're gonna give that health back, Tom?
I figured Tom was on it because I was occupied.
Well, that's when I said Tom.
I might.
Yeah, you're back at max. So, you all watch as the ground beneath Kyra begins to lower a little bit, and then there's another rush up of sand, and then you see this yellow flash from within, and a very, very, very angry roar as the sandworm erupts and tries to devour Kyra, but just kind of fails, and its teeth just glance off of her. That said, its attempt to bite her does fling her into the air and send her crashing to the ground over here. And Astra
Shit.
fades. Yeah, it is worth noting that would have been an automatic critical hit if it had actually, hit something that could be damaged.
That's why we had Astron, huh?
Yeah, when it attacks something from burrowed, it automatically deals critical damage, but it has to sacrifice its hidden status to do so.
Okay.
There it is.
So-
Destroy that fucking worm.
Okay,
What the hell,
so-
Kyra?
Okay, so again, is it our turn?
Yes, it is back to the party.
All right, Thanatos first.
Okay.
Alright.
It is his girlfriend who got crippled.
Is Ladon, and now he's going to give a big fuck you fireball. But now all you must be thinking, it's probably immune to fire. Dark side turns it into shadow. So
I figured you would use
What about-
Thunderstorm, but alright.
Well, what about the water elemental thing?
Yes, hit it.
actually, you know what?
Double the damage.
Yeah, y'all got a point.
Yeah, why not?
But
It'll
why not just try the thunderstorm spell?
Yeah, might as well. It's
Thunderstorm
fucking
is- okay.
expensive MP-wise, but...
Yes, 150 MP to be exact.
Let's see how it does, and then I may give you a potion.
But you do get +3 damage steps at present.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it would turn it into a shadow. I took the. It was. Oh, actually, no. Last resort doesn't.
Last resort lets you pick, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, it does. So it does give it +3. Thank you.
And it's
So-
water magic armor, because that would be the most effective against this sucker.
Indeed. So.
So
It
now it's
will
just a matter of
be-
determining which of your attributes it would do more damage with.
Kill it. Do it.
Would be power because it has 7 more power than Dex.
Alright.
So it's power times 10 now.
Okay, I could
I
make it, but then I
If I
would do a
recall
athletics check.
correctly, let me just find the black magic and the thunderstorm. Yes, so power. So roll 2d6 plus 170 of water damage to this fucker.
Alright, give me just a moment here.
F2 the fucker. Hopefully
So that comes out to a total of 199 points of water damage.
Also, when Also, this spell turns the area into a water elemental field now.
Oh, yeah. So, after that goes off, you watch as this just storm of water rises up from the ground around the sandworm, with some electricity crackling overhead and the blackened clouds overhead. The water rises around it, lifting it up off the ground, causing it to sort of quarrel and noodle and pretzel around itself for a minute before the water fades with this pulse, and the sandworm just falls back to the ground with this agitated, shrieking sound. It's writhing and struggling to get back to its feet, and it is just emitting all kinds of spittle and even blood from its mouth at this point.
I find it ironic that a worm is weak to water.
I am reloading my water arrow.
Okay, that'll take up one of your things.
Since they need water for moist, but him, can know. And fuck it, because I don't think we're going to sack the kill at this turn around, I don't think.
What
This
you
turn or
doing?
next turn.
Well, give me a moment. Yep.
What are you doing?
Well, I want to cover Kyra, but I have to get there. However, we're on the little wing, so I figured I have to do an athletics check if I'm going to attempt to jump to her.
Didn't you already use your movement action to move from the ramp to where you are?
Yes, you did.
That
Yeah,
was
so
last
you-
turn. I was on. I mean, this is the next
No,
turn.
you
isn't
were
it? We
over here with everybody else
And then
last turn.
Thanatos moved here. I
That was
haven't
this
moved
turn.
yet.
Yeah, so yeah,
No,
you've
I
already
moved
used your
up
movement
here.
action.
You've already moved your act.
Yeah.
Already used your move.
But I was already on the ship, and then
You were there, and then you moved here. That's one
That's
movement.
one
Yeah, that's
medium
one.
range. So you've already used
one
your movement
movement.
action. If you want to
So
keep
if
moving, it'll cost you the rest of your turn, and you won't be able
No,
to use any
why-
action.
why-
that's what it's gonna do.
Yeah,
Ah.
but other is an instant, so he doesn't
That is
need
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just gonna cover it just in case he wants a snack before he dies.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
okay.
do I go-
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. You can make an athletics check to jump down. He's,
Oh,
That's almost.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so like
Okay.
for a brief moment, Alistair just becomes like a fucking Cirque du Soleil performer as he jumps over the side with this very graceful and thing and lands right next to Kyra, and no problem.
Never, Kaya. Hang in there.
All right, now Kyra is covered. All right,
anything. That's his turn.
and that just leaves the Mika.
I love it was one off from a critical success.
Mika will put herself right there. And let's see here.
It's a shame that's on an ice field.
Yeah, well,
He's weak to water.
Well, it's double weak to ice.
all right, well, Mika is
For
going to
now.
go ahead and expend another 20 MP for another cast of Blizzara.
This thing's gotta be on its last legs. Come on.
He is in terrible condition, that's for sure. He's not in a good mood.
All right, and so as it's writhing about and rising back up, Mika puts her hand on her book, lifts it up, another lance of ice, and with this scuttle, she hucks the lance, it goes flying across, and stabs the greater sandworm right in the mouth for 61 points of damage, reducing it to 0 hit points, because it was at 59.
Damn, nice one, Mika.
We lost. Oh, there's Tom.
Nope.
Hi, what happened?
My internet briefly disconnected itself.
Mika
Ah.
just murdered the worm.
Yeah, it had 59 hit points, and she did 61 with Blizzara.
It's a shame that the bird isn't here. For the final.
Well, either way, the greater sandworm lets out one final sort of scratchy, crackly gurgle as it slumps over and falls to the ground, well and truly dead.
Yeah.
All right, so
Damn, I know what Rocket would have said if she
So,
was here. The bird
from-
is the word.
all right, so from
I
that,
think you can cut the cheerful music. Kara's back is broken.
shut up.
Which I'm healing with that. I'm giving her one of my high potions.
Well,
I'm
again,
trying to knock her to conscience again.
Well, at any rate, so either way, from that, everyone gets the communal gil is increased by 20,000. up to 46k. And also, there is one remedy that you get from this thing that you can put wherever you so wish in the party's inventories.
Mika.
And what the
All right.
remedy?
Okay, so Mika gets the remedy. And also, 1 destiny point for defeating a notorious enemy.
So what does remedy do again?
It cures any status ailment.
Remedy removes all all negative status
Ah.
effects. So Mika now has 2 of them.
I was gonna say, if Mika has one, it makes sense that someone else has one.
If you want
Just in
one, Mika
case.
will let you have it.
Okay.
All right.
I'm the healer. Might as well, just in case Mika goes down, if I'm unable to protect her.
Indeed.
We have a backup. But right now, let's help out Kaya.
All right. So
Thanatos, like, as soon as this thing is just skewered in the mouth, Thanatos immediately just jumps off the ship and goes right to her.
all right.
It's okay. She will live.
Yeah, she's unconscious, but as you're coming up and you look down, you can see that, like, from, like, her waist down, her body is sort of twisted at an unnatural angle. Like, her hips are twisted way too far to one side. She's definitely
lives.
suffered a broken spine.
Question: in this world,
broken
with healing magics and shit, is a broken spine irreversible?
It depends on circumstances. Sometimes it can be healed, sometimes no. It depends. It's kind of iffy.
Of all the things to remove the pie, why would you give her a permanent disability? Lord DM.
This is like a freaking. Oh god, no. I'm getting flashbacks of certain fanfic
Oh,
I
man.
listened to and read. It's gonna make me sad.
Okay. So, seeing this, Thanatos is immediately going to look up to Alistair and says, "Fix this."
I will do as best as I can, I promise you, Thanatos. But I am no miracle worker.
He gets up and he grabs you by the collars. It's, "I don't care. Fix it."
Thanatos, calm down.
Mika, you have wide maze training among
Yeah.
others.
Me
Or-
and Mika will work on it. But you have to settle down, Thanatos. Don't worry.
I am
Do the best for her. Sorry.
Mika, you have white mage training among others. For this, what does that medical knowledge recommend? It's a
Gonna have-
little beyond us.
Alright. Mika's gonna roll a healing check.
I have healing checks too, so could I help her with that or not?
You
might
can
need-
you can roll it as well, and we'll go with the higher of the 2 rolls.
Okay. Well, I'd be lucky to beat a frickin' 10 with these dice. I give it a shot though. Kind of regretting not putting that 2 in there now. Oh,
Alright,
by
11.
1.
Alright, so 11. Looking it over, you can't really tell a whole lot at the moment, with Kyra still being, in her armor and not having an X-ray view of the actual internal damage. You're not entirely sure whether or not this is salvageable or not. If it is, though, it isn't going to be salvageable with the tools you presently have at your disposal. She would need a dedicated medical situation with on task white mages round the clock. It would be a prolonged recovery period to get back from this, if it can even be recovered from.
Looking at it, I may not have the tools to do so. Even if I did examine her back on the little wing.
She needs medical facilities, and we don't have any. Best we
We're
can do
days
right
away
now is
from
just...
Anoma.
But she will live. But right now, the best we could do for her is get her back on the little wing and make sure she's safe.
Closest place I can
But
think of with the
carefully.
proper medical facilities would probably be Viala.
And that's where I have to go. We can't very well leave her alone on the little wing while we traipse into a volcano.
I know, so we're in a tight situation. I mean, we could try to drop off somewhere, but then again, we will have to deal with the fireballs again, and I don't think the little wing could survive a barrage repeatedly.
Watch me. So, Little Wing has basic medical supplies, including stretchers. I'm gonna get her one. We'll get her on board, and we're leaving.
And can Thanatos pick her up without.
I'm literally getting her a stretcher. Don't pick her up with a broken spine by hand.
I mean, I know. I didn't think you'd have a stretcher.
Well, I'm imagining the Little Wing does because it's a fully equipped military vessel. Why wouldn't it?
Yeah, you make your way on board and you come back a few minutes later with a stretcher. And by the way, while Nee is gone, Kyra starts to come to, sort of.
God, don't move, don't move.
What? Can't feel my legs.
Calm down.
Thanatos
Calm down.
immediately.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. But
Thanatos immediately just goes on his knees and just holds her head.
Shit.
Listen, you need to be very, very still. That giant worm asshole did a number on your back. We're taking you to VR for white mage training. White mage
treatment.
Yes, that's the one. White mage treatment. They'll have the expertise to help you, but we don't have the facilities here. It's gonna be a little bit of a trip, but we'll go as fast as we can. Yeah, big giant bastard whacked you across the back, then tried to eat me.
Managed to save you with Astra.
Thanks.
But right now, you're welcome. Nee, get that stretcher. Mika, keep an eye on her, and Thanatos.
Yeah. Like Kyra was coming to while Nee was getting it. So as Nee comes back, she has it.
I'm just gonna notify everyone in the book, just in case.
Alright. We're going to have to do this very carefully. Mika, you're the most medically sensitive. We're going to have to right our bottom half. Kyra, you stay awake, and if you absolutely need to, swear as much as you want at Thanatos.
I'll bear that in mind.
You're probably going to need to. Thanatos, take the swearing without hurting your feelings. And I will, once the legs are set, I will slip this stretcher up underneath her. Alistair, you help me with that. You're going to have to lift her ever so slightly and carefully.
Don't worry, I have dealt with this in the past.
Right, your master.
You can count on me for this.
I didn't even make that connection. Good catch.
Yeah.
Mika,
Thanks.
You're up. Go.
Right.
Okay, so real quickly, in clear terms, because that was all kind of hectic. What are you doing?
Well, to get the stretcher under her, since her legs are twisted, Mika's going to have to straighten it up to, correctly, so to speak. She has to do it very carefully, because without damaging her more.
Right.
So that's why having her do it, because she's the most medically inclined. Thanatos is there to be the swearing doll for when she inevitably gets really fucked off by this.
Right, fair enough.
He's going to be holding her hand,
Yeah, and then Alistair and Nee are sliding the stretcher under her when her legs are straight.
Alright, so the moment Mika starts sort of moving Kyra's legs properly, she definitely just starts screaming. I'm not going to try and replicate it because I value my vocal cords, but you've never heard her scream this loud before. It's echoing all around you. But it's not necessarily difficult to get it slid underneath. It takes a second, but soon enough she's lifted and you get the stretcher underneath her. And once she's settled, she's gasping for breath and definitely her eyes are screwed tightly shut. She's gritting her teeth and hyperventilating, but she's bearing it very well.
I was going to offer to put something in her mouth to basically hope to damage her teeth, but
Alright, that's the hard part done. You hanging in there?
I'll live. Fuck, this hurts.
Basic cure spells, all the pain.
I will say this, you are one of the toughest...
Toughest, you cut out.
Darkness.
Fuck.
And
he disappeared.
There goes his mic.
While we're doing that, Mika, basic cure spell, try and dull some of the pain.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, Mika will expend, she will expend 7 MP to cast Cure to try and ease Kyra's pain a little bit. Actually, better yet, instead, she's going to, assuming no one has any objections,
God damn it.
Yeah, and instead, assuming no one has any objections, Mika will instead use sleep to effectively knock Kyra out so that she's just unconscious for this part, so that, like,
Well, before
she won't rise or anything.
assuming that's what Mika want suggest, he's going to go. You agree to that, Kyra?
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't mind waking up and not being in excruciating pain. Ah, fuck.
And what I was saying earlier was you're one of the toughest Dragoons I've ever met, so hang in there.
All right, so Mika is going to put her hands on Kyra's side, and a few seconds later, this grayish mist washes over Kyra. She makes no attempt to resist it, and a second later, she passes out and falls into a deep sleep.
Also, keep in mind, I did offer one of my high potions earlier.
Well, again,
that's not going to help, really.
Yeah.
I know, but still, it does
Again,
a little help.
it helps her HP, but again, she's paralyzed.
I know. She suffered a spinal injury, which is a lot harder to fix.
Yeah.
All right,
Just
jeez.
help.
You just Thanatos, help me with the stretcher. Get it into the med bay.
Yep.
All right, so
No, you start up the engines. Me and Thanatos have got this.
Hey, I already have it. Let's not argue over this. Get her on board.
Okay.
all right, so working together, you get the stretcher lifted, and you very carefully bring Kyra back on board the Little Wing. And you don't really have like a fully equipped medical bay per se. You just have like a room that has a few first aid kits and some very rudimentary medical supplies. But you manage to, but you get Kyra in there. You get her situated. As you're doing that, Mika is going to turn to you, Nee.
Are we sure we really want to fly off like this?
What other choice do we have? If we leave her like this here, who knows what other creatures will come along looking for a tasty snack.
I will say this, it's hard. I mean, even I'm having a hard time figuring out something. I wouldn't advise splitting up because it's too dangerous of an area.
Not to mention, the longer we leave her like this with this injury without the necessary medical help, the greater chance it's going to be permanent.
Which my rational advice is telling me if we do move, if anything should happen to disturb the ship while we are trying to escape, she could get even worse.
Yeah, that's my concern. If we try to fly off while Everett's still shooting at us...
I'm sorry to say this, Nee, but we're pretty pinned here. As soon as we take flight, I wouldn't be surprised fireballs are going to come straight for us. Fucking hell. This is a fucking mess. And the worst thing of all, there's still no answer from this bloody book.
Thanatos is going to swipe the book from Alistair and just immediately just start writing, "Where the fuck are you? Get here right now!"
Just spamming it. All right.
Yes.
You write a bunch
Very-
down into it.
Very angry words.
Yep, you write it all down.
He's going to take that book back. Hey, taking out on them isn't going to help. They're political business of their own. And he's
Don't
going to
waste
kind of...
ink and paper.
Sitting
Money
around
just
here
got reply.
squabbling about it isn't going to help either.
And he's just going to underneath. Thanatos is justifiably pissed. Forgive him for his words. And then give the book back to Alistair.
Thank you.
For the moment, I think
Alright.
we just need to take a minute and get our heads together. Take a second to calm down, especially you, Thanatos. I know you're upset, and justifiably so, but we really, really need to keep our cool together, okay? We can't help Kyra if we're panicking.
And if me were in this position, would you be the calm?
Thanatos, my heart is beating at 1,000 and I am trembling. I am trying to stay calm. I am trying to think of a way. Just please settle down.
If it was me, I'd be scared to death. But if it would keep her safe, then yes, I would be calm.
Either way, that's enough. All of you. So, General Sit Rep. Ifrit is up there. We could attempt to fly the ship out to get her medical help right away, though that would require some extensive maneuvers that would be quite risky to achieve. The other option is to try and get to Ifrit within the day, if possible. get him to stop shooting fireballs and then return to the ship as quickly as possible. With this injury like this, time will be of the essence.
And the only way we could test that theory, if it is still going to fire, which I reckon it will, Thanatos creates like something that could fly to send up there and see what happens.
Yeah,
I'm not sure he'd take the same thing as a bird as compared to an airship, but from that display earlier, he will shoot the airship.
So I can barely make anything bigger than my fist. What do you think it's gonna shoot at? A little birdie or the big fucking airship?
So, if we are done, Thanatos, you take some healing and regather your magic. We're gonna look down the ship and we're gonna have to hoof it as fast as we can. Don't wanna leave this here for long.
I'll be there in a sec. Just give me a minute.
I take it that Thanatos has left the room.
Thanatos is staying there. He wants you to leave.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Alistair, give him his minute and then heal him up. Mika?
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm with you.
Plus, I want to still talk to Nee anyway, to suggest something.
So the three of them shuffle out, leaving Thanatos alone with the still unconscious Kyra.
Mm-hmm.
And Alistair, wait outside the med bay. When he's done, heal him up. He's rather thin from his dark side. Gotta solve that. Mika and I will go up on deck and see if we can't plan a path forward.
The only thing I could suggest, because you are a talented pilot, would it be possible, despite the terrain, to fly out of here as low as possible to the ground that may avoid the sight of the fireballs?
I had considered such an action, but the risk for it. If it doesn't work and if it still fires, that's Kyra in the firing line, so...
Point of order, I will point out and remind you that it was only when you got down into the crevasses and mesas that Ifrit stopped shooting at you.
Yeah, but...
So like, in order to actually get out of here, you would have to be flying above the top layer of the mesas, and he was still shooting at you at that point.
Shit.
So
then now I have to body block and try to keep Kyra as stable as possible.
We're not flying out of here while Ifrit is shooting us. Stay by that med bay door, get ready to heal him when he's done.
Now, let's go ahead and cut back to Thanatos, alone in the room with Kyra. Is there anything you're doing?
He is on his knees, as she is just there on the bed. He's just... The reason he wanted you all to leave is Thanatos is crying.
Oof.
He is legit tears in right now. And he just fucking hates himself. Just there with his head right next to her arm on the bed, just miserable.
Couple moments pass in silence as you're just letting the emotion out before you hear a familiar from beside you, slower than usual, as the cloak bleeds away from your shoulders.
No, it's not the time.
Do you want me to make a suggestion or not?
Sure. I've already fucked it up enough today.
What happened here was not your fault, and don't even begin thinking it was. You hear me?
She made her walk again.
It's out of your hands for now. and it was never your decision to make to begin with. The attack was spontaneous, out of nowhere, and without warning. Blaming yourself now will not solve anything. Now, he walks up to your side and puts his hand on your shoulder. If it will put your heart more at ease, I'm willing to remain behind and stand watch.
He looks up to him, his face stricken with tears. What?
It would mean you wouldn't be able to summon me in battle. But if you leave your cloak here, I will stand watch and make sure she is safe. I'll fight off anything that tries to molest this ship. We can't leave without the crystal. But we also can't leave her unguarded.
He smiles up to him. You know, that's probably be the nicest thing you've ever done for me.
I may have been born from all of your hate and your rage, but where was that hate and rage born from? It was born from the loss of your loved ones. I'll not soon sit idly by and let you lose another. Go. Your friends are waiting for you.
He smiles and just, right before he leaves, he just leans his forehead on Kyra's. I'll be back. Just hang in there. And he just gets up and slowly leaves, looking back at Caius one more time before going out the door.
All right. As Thanatos steps out, I would like to award him a point of destiny for some really good roleplay there.
Nice.
I like that a lot. That was a very well done scene. Get a point of destiny, man. Hey, I reward good roleplay.
And I guess Alistair is waiting out the door with an ether, with like high ether and high potion.
He is there, but his mind's a bit
Yeah.
like in thought, and even tears are rolling down his face as his hand is also shaking, just holding the staff.
Before Thanatos came out the door, he did wipe away his tears so nobody would know.
They must never know.
They must never know. Dark Knights don't cry.
Or Dark Knights cry the most. One of the two.
Wow. So, all right, Alistair, what's up?
Yes. I hope you want some heals.
Yeah, just the high potion, the high ether.
Sure. Right here.
Okay, so that'll get his HP back up to max. And oh wait, no, that's 456. Sorry. And MP is 75%. 176. 132. Okay, that'll do it. And after he checks all that, he just doesn't. Caius is staying behind to watch Kyra.
Huh. Well, I guess your other side has a soft side after all.
Who knew? Come on, let's grab the girls and get going. The sooner we get that stupid crystal, the sooner we can get the Viola.
Yes. And rest assured that we will do the best for her.
I'm sorry.
You can count on us.
Alright. So, you two make your way up to the top deck where Nee and Mika have just finished battening things down.
You two finished?
Yeah. I'm sorry about all that, girls.
It's alright.
Don't be.
Caius is staying behind to watch the ship and Kyra.
Sounds good to me. I feel better knowing someone's holding down the fort. Wow. Seems like she's in your hands after all. Alright, so there's one obvious route forward, towards the volcano. Let's hope the stargazer's somewhere up that way along the lines of Talking Friend, and perhaps even Rocket and Odin. There's only one way to find out.
As you're looking,
We're hoofing it straight. We're hoofing it. Can I finish talking?
Yeah, go ahead, finish.
We'll be hoofing it straight there through the night. No rest. Farah can't afford it.
Agreed.
As you're looking forward and sort of surveying things, Nee, I would like you to make an awareness check for me, please.
Finally.
Ooh, a critical success. All right, so as you're sort of surveying things, you notice it the second it comes into view, and you notice something else unusual besides. So first, you notice that the worm of the body of the worm is just gone. It's disappeared. But secondly, you see coming from around the bend up here at this sort of a big sort of pillar in the middle of the canyon, coming from around the bend, you see a familiar Bongan figure strutting rapidly into view.
Hello.
See, it's a talking dude.
It's Velmarak.
Valmarak.
He puts on this wide grin as he's approaching. Well, well, I thought I saw something familiar coming down. You're one short, I see.
Upon landing, we were surprised by a sandworm. Before we even knew what hit us, Kyra. She'll live, but she's not going anywhere for a while.
I see. He turns and looks off towards the volcano. The flames have been burning hotter of late.
Yeah, Ifrit shot at us the moment we came into view.
That's not like him.
Fiery god that's always angry about everything. I figured it would be like him.
Perhaps if he wasn't expecting you, it would be, but I'm given to understand he would have been told of your coming.
Then why is he shooting at us?
I don't know. Something must be wrong.
Could be wrong. The fire fiend is dead.
Could be any number of things. Perhaps her master is in place. Perhaps some other forces at work. I know not.
Perhaps this is simply part of his trial. Did you see another airship before us, Stargazer?
A few days ago, yes. It was blasted from afar, and it fell. I have yet to locate it. It is difficult to navigate these canyons. You're lucky you landed so near to me.
So now we could have lost Sid and all of them too?
Relax. The ship was intact when it made its descent. And so far as I can tell, they're probably just waiting for things to be safe. I have seen the mountains spewing fireballs on occasion to where I know not. Perhaps they made further attempts to retreat, but were forced to withdraw back into the canyons.
Have you seen Ifrit yet?
I have not.
Do you still have it?
Of course I do. It is my responsibility.
Well, Velmarak has HP, holy shit.
He is considered a notorious creature.
Is he level 12?
Let me double check. I don't know if I have it listed here.
He's
He's level 11.
Level 11, and he is a goddamn lot of HP. Damn.
He's notorious.
Fair enough. Well, we're not fighting him, so there.
We need to carve a path through towards the Hellfire Pit and Ifrit either way. Whatever his reasons, we need to deal with it now.
If you require my assistance, I am willing to lend it in whatever capacity you require.
Well, we're gonna need you with the other crystal once we get there.
Very well. I suppose it is up to me to guide you then.
Be as quick as possible. The longer we leave Kyra here, the more likely she will never recover from this.
I understand. Let us not stand on ceremony then.
He turns and sort of beckons for you to follow him.
Come along. This way. Though, one thing. You were attacked by a worm, you say?
Yes.
Sandworm, yeah.
The worms in this region are rather large. You would think its body would be hard to miss.
It was right here, but when we went below deck and came back, it was gone. We don't know either.
Concerning. Come.
He starts to make his way further along. I now need to stop you all for just a second while I move us over to the next map. Ooh, give me a moment. A lot of things on this map.
A moment.
All right. So, Velmarak leads you for a time, winding through numerous passages before eventually you come into another area and your eyes alight upon a familiar, long carcass up ahead.
There's the worm. How the hell did he get here?
I don't know.
Something moved it. If it was big enough to move it, I dread to think what it could be.
Whatever it was, perhaps it wanted us here.
Velmarak's hand is reaching down for his sword.
And if so...
Can I awareness check?
Make an awareness check.
Also, you said sword. What class is Velmarak?
Velmarak is considered a warrior. His sword in question is a Kopesh.
Oh, I thought he was a mage.
No, he's a warrior.
If he's a warrior, why does he have MP?
Because he's considered a notorious creature. He just has warrior job abilities, but just in general, creatures just have MP values even if they don't use spells. Anyway, so with that 14, Nee, looking around, you're not immediately noticing anything out of the ordinary, but once you examine the sandworm a little closer, you see that there are more injuries on it than you recall. As if something burrowed into it.
Well, that's disconcerting. Something's burrowed inside the damn thing. Velmarak, any creatures around here that are known for burrowing inside giant, large, dead creatures?
None around here. I've only met the one.
And what's that?
You would know. Didn't you kill her?
What?
It is at this time that the carcass suddenly erupts into flames, immediately being reduced to ashes, and you see many flames rising up out of it, spheres of dark fire that start to expand out, growing wings, and you start to hear the ominous growling croaks of an entire conspiracy of ravens as blackened bird made out of shadowy flames emerges after blackened bird, one after another, alighting upon the stones.
This bitch.
I knew it.
I had a feeling she's still alive.
So it wasn't a normal sandworm at all. It was this thing possessing the sandworm.
More and more and more of them appear, completely surrounding the entire arena.
I freaking knew it. I knew she wasn't dead.
So it was you that hurt Kyra. If you didn't, you should have stayed dead, because now we're going to make doubly sure.
The flames continue to coalesce, and finally, at the heart of the sort of procession at the center, they gather, and sure enough, you see Zaltaya. Her flaming eye-shaped head glares down at you.
I rather think not.
And how exactly are you still alive after the pasting we gave you last time?
You swear she grins.
You are a fool if you think you can kill a flame. Especially one with my gifts. A single spark is all I need.
So, a terrible knockoff of a phoenix, basically.
So if a single spark of you remains, you come back, you grow from it. In that case, we'll just have to make sure to smother every single one. We have a lot of water.
Perhaps, but in case you hadn't noticed.
Her wings fan out and she gestures to all of the dead fire ravens surrounding the clearing.
I am not alone this time.
You think we care?
We shall snuff out every single one of them till there's none left.
You hurt Kyra. That was a mistake.
Thanatos just moves forward and is like, this time, I'm gonna make sure you stay dead, Phoenix or not.
I would like to see you try.
She squats down a little bit as if preparing for battle, but before anything actually happens, before she can make any move, you hear a sound reaching your ears. It's distant at first, and it gives Zaltaya pause as she looks up slightly. Then it comes again a second later. The sound of a whinnying horse.
Oh, here comes the verb.
And then it comes again a second later, and Zaltaya's pupil, rapidly expands as she looks off to the side.
What?
You look scared. You should be.
Give me just a second here, because I need a specific track.
Well, give me a moment. I need to get to this watch chat. Come on, work for me, you son of a bitch.
Odin is coming.
Forget about Odin. I don't care that she's a she. She's about to get kicked in the nuts.
She's gonna get kicked in something.
Yeah.
The burb has arrived.
And then after a second, you see a familiar avian shape fluttering down to land at the top of this rocky pillar right here, looking down.
Hey!
Familiar cybernetic parts, glowing red eye, and strangely little embers drifting out of her feathers as she lands.
Hey guys!
Rocket!
Rocket!
And she looks back over her shoulder.
I found him!
And then you hear heavy armored footsteps and the sound of hooves on stone as two more figures emerge behind her.
Odin.
You see the blackened armored form of Odin, shield in one hand and a long sword in the other, stepping forward, an ominous cape billowing out behind him, his face hidden behind his shadowy helmet and massive horns rising up to snap high into the air, the eyes in the faceplate glowing a brilliant ruby red, while at his side, a tall and imposing unicorn doused in thick white fur with braids coming down from the mane, glowing silvery eyes, and this long golden horn that twists and curves into a sharpened blade. Looking surprisingly emaciated, it's still very ready for action. And as they emerge, Zaltaya lets out this low growl.
So
So-
be it.
You were
And that's
saying-
where we'll pick up next time.
I've got a water arrow barrage ready for this bitch.
Shoot all the birds.
I have a
All
line ready for next time.
All right.
Thunderstorm. That might be good as well.
All right, so that was an adventure. And yes, next session, we get the long-awaited return of Rocket to the party. So,
Yay! Quay.
yes. So thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, so much for tuning into this session of Final Fantasy Chronicles of Eno. We will see you next time. Until then, keep listening, people. Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
Bye. We shall go to the Queen of Victory.
The fucking to be
verb
continued
is the
thing isn't
word.
playing. God damn it. Oh well.
Is an adventure in the making, ever and always.